Welcome back to another Danville San Ramon Rotary Interact Member Spotlight, where we introduce you to some of the incredible students making a difference through service and leadership. I'm Joe Corpus, and today I'm joined by Vivian Zhao from California High School. Vivian serves as the lead service vice president for Cal High Interact, and she's also the lieutenant governor for Interact District 5160. Vivian, thank you so much for joining me today. And, looking at your bio, I'm already exhausted just reading it. So let's just jump in. Vivian, how are you? And what first even inspired you to join Interact?
Hi, thank you so much for welcoming here. I joined in my freshman year of high school, and I think what attracted me to Interactive at first was just because of how welcoming and I think how open the club is, especially compared to other clubs that often have membership fees or experience requirements. It felt like Interact was like a club that accepted everyone regardless of their experience level. And as a freshman, I didn't really have much experience in like any field, but what I did have was a little bit of community service background in middle school, so I wanted to continue that in Interact, and of course, I'm very glad that I did.
It's cool how often something as simple as just saying, yes, I'll give this a try ends up opening doors in ways you probably didn't even expect. Now, as a lead service vice president, you're involved in planning and coordinating service opportunities for other students. What's your favorite part about helping create those experiences?
Another great thing about Interact is that it's super interdisciplinary, which means that you can really easily Interact with other fields. So for example, outside of like community service, I have a lot of interest in health, art, and because our club has so many events that are correlated with different organizations, we've had events related to environmental conservation, elementary schools, education, and a lot of other fields. So it feels like Interact just gives a lot of, like I said, freedom to be able to bring your other interests in and create an impact in other people's lives.
I love that. Now, can you think of a service project or a moment where, you walked away thinking, this is exactly why I joined Interact?
I think one of the best events I could talk about is Rise Against Hunger. So it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to solving food insecurity around the world. And so in my freshman year, before I became a board member, there was this, we've had multiple packaging events, but this was my first one. Basically, it was really big. It took place in our school's commons, I believe, like the cafeteria. And I think it was around maybe 30 people. We were also joined by a lot of adults too, and it was basically just a 3-hour session of everyone packing these little bags. And later, after the event, several weeks later, I got this email telling me about, oh, your food packages were sent to the Philippines. And I feel like that event was a rare occasion where I actually, like, for example, we have these other events sometimes where we make cards, for example, but a lot of the time we don't really know where the cards went, at least before I was board member. But it felt like for that event, I could actually kind of see like the impact I was making and me being actually able to help people. And I think that's another great thing about Interact, where you actually get to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, it's just the impact. You said that word. It's like you get to see that firsthand. And, years from now, you probably won't remember every single Interact meeting, but you'll remember the people you helped and even the friendships you built along the way. Wild card question time. Let's hypothetically say, let's pretend a freshman walks up to you tomorrow and says, I don't know anybody and I'm nervous about joining Interact. What would you tell them?
I was exactly in that position when I was a freshman. And for that question, I would repeat the words of my club advisor, Gary, who was also in Danville San Ramon. He always told us at our first board meeting, don't be shy. He told me that when I was first becoming a board member, and he's continued to repeat that over the years. And that would definitely be that advice I tell someone who's scared of joining a club where they don't really know anyone. That was exactly me. Especially like I said before, I wasn't very experienced.
Yeah.
And I just think Interact is just a great platform for you to gain self-confidence and just be more assured of yourself. I guess when I was younger, I had more trouble speaking out. Like whenever I had thoughts, I would just keep them to myself thinking, oh, they're going to think it's a stupid idea. I shouldn't say it. And I think just the words like, don't be shy, I think it's just really important to know your self-worth, and Interact has really helped me understand how much power I have within myself.
Yeah. I think a lot of students needed to hear that. And sometimes the hardest part is just simply showing up the first time. So, Vivian, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for everything you're doing to help lead Cal High Interact and making such a positive impact in our community. It's students like you who remind us that the future is in good hands. If you're a Cal High student looking for a great way to make new friends, develop leadership skills, and give back to your community, I encourage you to check out Interact. You can learn more about it at calhighinteract.org. And to learn more about the Danville San Ramon Rotary Club, visit danvillesanramonrotary.org. Thanks again, Vivian, for being a guest on the Danville San Ramon Rotary Interact Member Spotlight.